Alright, there is no time for a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's time to race. We're late. And that's thanks to the beautiful Deutsche Bahn in Germany. I'm supposed to be home well in time, but the train decided not to drive. So we join you with what I assume is the first heat race. We have Jonas Vana for the moment on the pole position. It's Formula 3s at Jerez. A beautiful circuit this. You're going to see a lot of curb usage to open up the corners. Look, drivers completely over the white line. The curbs here at this particular track define track limits. So the edge of the blue and white curbing, that's where the track limit is. Jonas Vana using that beautifully. This track, once you get into the flow, flows really, really nicely. We don't have any time to look at the championship. We'll do that once server 1 is done. We'll get into server 2 early. Alright, finish then. On to the finish line. Jonas Vana will take heat 1. Marius Zoek will finish second. And Markus Steffel will finish on the podium too. Most importantly, Benedikt Hitz and Hugo Zasse make it through to the feature race. Marijn Jordanowski misses out by 7/10 of a second. Richter, for the moment, the best in the silvers for the consolation race. If we look at qualifying, do we have a result of it? Here is the result of qualifying. And as you can see, Andrea Frasinetti took pole ahead of Mirko Bortolotti in second. Jonas Vana in third. So Jonas Vana, instead of starting third, will start first. Mirko Bortolotti will look to take his place on the second row of the grid. Well, that's it though. That's it for this heat race. Let's take a look at the grid for the second one. Mirko Bortolotti on the pole. Niels Langeveld in second. Rafael Renova third. Yannick Wonenberg in fourth. Maximilian Paul fifth. Hugo Rob sixth. Ivan Ferrari seventh. Jens Fiedler in 8th, 9th. Martin Stadtman 10th. Christian Ablasa. Ben Buhnagel 11th. Dave Uwema in 12th. Torsten Gross in 13th, 14th, Leon Blum. And Thomas Kiefer in P15. Gridding is almost done. We're waiting for Hugo Rob. We say thank you to Hugo Rob for waiting. Gives us the time to go through the grid. Some people are out of line. Can't help but notice that. Waiting then for the 5 red lights that are on now. Left hand side of the screen is Mirko Bortolotti. Right hand side of the screen, Niels Langeveld. Niels Langeveld tries to move over immediately to try and cover off Rafael Renova. Doesn't work. Rafael Renova still behind Mirko Bortolotti. The outside though for Niels Langeveld, trying to make his way round. Mirko Bortolotti though wants this first place, wants to take points back on Rafael Renova. The Austrian who's right behind Niels Langeveld now, up in P3, third at the moment. Yannick Wonenberg in 4th, Maximilian Paul in 5th, then Hugo Rob in 6th. Slipstream in these cars properly working. Renova to the outside of Niels Langeveld. Niels Langeveld to the outside of Mirko Bortolotti instead. Once again the outside for Langeveld. Bortolotti with a bit of a snap on the exit. He's going to have to try and make his way through on the outside now in the next couple of corners. This might be Niels Langeveld, his first place now. Next one's to the right again. Mirko Bortolotti might have this. No, he has to slot in back behind. Niels Langeveld defends. important for all these three drivers is to at least make it through to the feature race. Mirko Bortolotti doesn't want another repeat of what happened a week ago, where it went all downhill. Qualifying went well. Took first by turn 1 in Hockenheim in the IndyCars, but out of turn 1, spun, hit the wall, had to start from the back of the consolation race, was caught up in an incident again, had to start from the back in the feature race. And from then on, it's just all the way downhill from then. So then it's waiting until you can make some good progression. He was able to make some progression in the IndyCar race, but definitely not as far as he was hoping. Niels Langeveld still trying to defend from Mirko Bortolotti. The outside from Mirko Bortolotti this time round. Niels Langeveld much better, it seems like, at defending the outside there. Defending the inside, rather. This is for the last spot in the feature race. Hugo Rob 4/10 behind Yannick Vonenberg. We know that Hugo Rob could really use a good result. He hasn't been the luckiest driver so far this season. Oh no! Hugo Rob! The camera curse! And once again, Hugo Rob pushing too hard and finding his way down the order. It's just not working for Hugo Rob, is it? And a crash as well. And Hugo Rob is out, I'm afraid, of the heat race once again. See exactly what happened here. Just coming out of the last corner. Oh, just too eager on the throttle. And then into turn 1. Gets challenged up the inside. Drivers know he's cooked his tires. Yeah, that's unfortunate for Hugo Rob. Who's the other car? I think it's Torsten Gross. Just misjudges that massively. And he crashes out, Hugo Rob, and they both are in the pit lane. Trying to talk to each other now. It's not going to be a pleasant chat, that is, for the both of them. Oh, Niels Langeveld is under pressure. Bit of a mistake. It's going to allow Mirko Bortolotti to draw alongside for the last corner. He's going to push him tight. He's going to try and do this switchback. Can't quite work it out, but it's right underneath the rear wing of Niels Langeveld. Going on to the last lap. Mirko Bortolotti, the outside for turn 1, pushing him tight. Niels Langeveld knows what to do, has been in this position before. But Mirko Bortolotti is eager to get that first place. Next one's to the left. Bit of a snap of oversteer for Niels Langeveld. That might open the door for Mirko Bortolotti. Yes, indeed, it does. Mirko Bortolotti to the front of the field. Rafael Renhoff seeing this all unfold in front of him, trying to make it 3 wide. Niels Langeveld once again choosing the outside of Mirko Bortolotti. He made that work in the corner coming up now. Bortolotti once again defending the inside. Now he draws alongside earlier. Niels Langeveld is going to try and break late, try and brave it out on the outside. He can't. Mirko's got it covered off this time. What can Rafael Renhoff do? Can he move up a grid spot or a grid row? Niels Langeveld seems to have got it covered off. Mirko Bortolotti still at the front of the field, did this on the last lap. Maximilian Paul behind it, pressurizing Rafael Renhoff into the chicane now. One more time the exit here, important. Rafael Renhoff trying something into the last corner, taking the outside. Maximilian Paul diving in tight. He's going to try the inside on Renault. Mirko Bortolotti is going to win. Niels Langeveld is going to come through in second in the end. And Rafael Renault will have to take a P3 with Maximilian Paul in P4. Yannick Wonenberg takes the last spot in the feature race. Martin Stadtmann misses out. Ivan Ferrari misses out. Jens Fiedler misses out. Ben Buurnagel, best of the silvers. Into the grid for the consolation race then. Mark Jordanovsky starting on the pole. Martin Stadtmann next to him. Dennis Richter third. Ivan Ferrari fourth. Sean Ter fifth. Ben Buurnagel sixth. So, Michael Dullinger seventh. Jens Fiedler in eighth. Ninth. Lucas Baza. Christian Ablasa in 10th. Philippe Hugrin in 11th. Davy Ewerma 12th. 13th. Florian Stadtmann. Thomas Kiefer in 14th. Hendrik Steurer 15th. Leon Blum 16th. Jan Lins 17th. Hugo Ropp 18th. Andrea Frasinetti 19th after starting on the pole. 20th for Torsten Groos and Stefano Pellegrino in P21. Waiting for Thomas Kiefer to grid. So thank you, Thomas, for giving me the time to look at the grid. Here we go then. 5 red lights will be coming on soon. Barney on the bottom right will be waving the green flag. Martin Jordanovsky on the left. Martin Stadtmann on the right. There's the green flag. Martin Stadtmann with a blinder of a start. It's going to overtake Marinko Jordanovsky into turn 1. Marinko Jordanovsky has Dennis Richter and the Braun for company. And I have a feeling Hugo Ropp might be out again. Well, what a surprise that is. Don't think he's made it to the finish line cleanly once so far this season. And that's most of the time not even to Hugo Ropp his fault. Let's take a look what happened this time round. This is straight after the green flag. Hugo Ropp on the right hand side of the screen. In the back, comes over. Yeah, and once again Hugo Ropp keeps his car straight. Torsten Groos once again collected in it. The man can't catch any luck. Anyways, Martin Stadtmann at the front of the field though has got a good getaway. So for Martin Stadtmann, this is all he could wish for. We'll start P11. And then it's at least not that bad. Driver is in pit lane. Lucas Baza, Leon Blum, Hugo Ropp and Torsten Groos. So the driver is in pit lane. Sean Ter, after his brilliant race for in the GT3s at Watkins Glen last week, taking a P2 in the reverse grid race, being the youngest driver ever to take a podium. He has now found himself up to P4 here. There's no reverse grid races here, so this is all pure speed I have to do it on. And Sean Ter fighting for P4 here in the red and white Prema liveried F3 car. In front of that, it's Ivan Ferrari in the 82. Sean Ter might have a look at the inside of Ferrari, can't quite do it. And Sean Ter takes 4th place, has to slot in behind Ivan Ferrari though. Dennis Richter on the back of, or Ben Buurnagel on the back of Dennis Richter now. That Braun dropping further and further back. At the front of the field, Marin Jordanovsky still chasing down his teammate Martin Stadtmann. Chanter still on the back of Ferrari, trying to get into the top 3 of this race. Only the top 2 though gets points. So it's a dangerous game to play. Buhnagel in the fight with Jens Fiedler. Jens Fiedler up the inside of Buhnagel, gets through. Gonna get one more lap here. I'm gonna get the same amount of laps as we did in the heat races. There's 2 of Barney now. Yeah, Frasinetti. Those sausage curbs in green blend in really well with the rest of the track. But let me tell you, they are lethal. Martin Stadtmann for the final time over the back straight. Looks like he will come home to take what is a victory in the consolation race. But most importantly for Martin Stadtmann, a P11 in the feature race, which is all he needs, which is all he wants. Right then, rounding off the final corner is Martin Stadtmann to take what is a victory in the consolation race, but 11th on the grid. Mirko Danovsky. Chanter has gotten past Ivan Ferrari, and Chanter takes P3 in the consolation race, P13 on the grid for the feature. Well done to the 15-year-old. Ivan Ferrari in 4th ahead of Dennis Richter. Christian Ablassin in 9th. But that's it for the heat races. All right, on to the warm-up then before the big one. Right then, real quick onto the grid for the feature race. Jonas Vana at the front, Mirko Bortolotti in second. We can't even get to the grid.
Flag.
Because the start is already underway. There's someone not getting off his grid spot at all, and that causes calamity and all sorts in the background. My goodness, I think one car took out 3 of them. We'll have to have a look back at that later on. Grid is on, 18 minutes of racing is underway. Oh, big snap from Marius Zoek. Jonas Vana has lost the lead though to Mirko Bortolotti. So that's important to know. Mirko Bortolotti on the inside now. Rafael Renova crucially trying to make his way past the two in front of him. He has made his way past Niels Langeveld this time round. He was stuck behind all the heat race. With Mirko Bortolotti in first. Rafael Renova needs to pick up some points. Especially with only 1 round left soon of the championship. Right, Mirko Bortolotti leads after the first lap, Jonas Vana second. Marius Zoek third, Rafael Renova in fourth. Still very close to each other. Maybe some fuel games going on here as well between Jonas Vana and Mirko Bortolotti. A bit further back in the field, Dave Heerma and Jan Lins going at it. This is for P19 and P20. Lins on the outside of Heerma. He's gonna make, yes he is, he's gonna make his way through. Heerma getting some torrential understeer on the exit of that corner. This is for 7th in the silver class. Still trying to create a gap, but the slipstream at this track is not really allowing that. Also Mirko Bortolotti making a tiny little mistake here and there. Svana staying clean and consistent for as it is of now. Is on the back of Marius Zoek. Renov has gotten past Zoek as well. He's now up to P3 trying to chase down the top 2. He ideally needs the 2 ahead of them to fight. Maximilian Paul still on the back of Marius Zug. Still can't find a way past within 0.2 of a second now, but the exit onto the straight is also important, and he's got a better one than Zug ahead of him. Sadly for Maximilian Paul though, Zug has the slipstream as well. If he didn't, Maximilian Paul would have been passed. He still is. Maximilian Paul with the dive bomb of the week into turn 7, and he gets and he makes his way past. Excuse me. Lost for words after that dive bomb. Didn't expect that at all. Now clearly to chase down Rafael Renova, who can't seem to keep pace with the two at the front. Oh, Zug comes back on the inside of Paul. Maxi Paul, here's your chance to get away behind that. Langeveld and Zug going at it. Langeveld still trying to make his way past the BS Plus competition driver. And just like that, Zug is back onto the back of Maximilian Paul. Sadly for Maximilian, he doesn't have any slipstream now. He immediately moves over to the right, over to the left, has to stay there now. And he knows it. Langeveld up the inside of Zug, and Langeveld spins up the rear tires. And the Dutchman is round. Oh, that was almost a contender for Pancake of the Week. Luckily managed to stay out of any harm's way. Marco Bortolotti at the front, opening up the gap slowly but surely. Takes so long for the gap to open up. Pits early, Vanna follows him in. A tighter pit entry line from Vanna allows him to get somewhat closer before the pits. Marco Bortolotti will pull out in front of Vanna. These engines. Yeah, Vanna won a little bit on the pits, but not enough. And the gap between P1 and P2, provisional P1 and P2 stays the same. Renova inherits P1, Zug inherits P2, Benedict hits P3. With that pit stop only falling down to P4. A lot of people came into the pits that time round. This is the battle between Jens Fiedler and Niels Langeveld. This is where Niels Langeveld has come back out of the pits. Needs to find his way back through the field after his little spinneroo. This traffic surely not going to help. Niels also going deep into turn 7. Top 3 now also into pit lane. On the right hand side of the screen you can see where the top 4 is at the moment. It's a very slow and quite long pit lane here at this track. So Marco Bortolotti will probably quite easily regain that first place. Renova out of the pits is driving, not out yet. Yeah, there on the right hand side is Renova. Not close enough. minutes left here in feature race. Everyone's made their pit stop now. Svana is going to try it at the inside of Mirko Bortolotti. First given chance he's really gotten in this race, and he's taken it. Mirko Bortolotti also knows the danger that's lingering behind him. This is what Renova loves to see. This is all free time that Rafael Renova is getting, and he gets even more with a mistake of Mirko Bortolotti. Something that we haven't quite often seen. Or something that we don't get to see quite often. That's a mistake from the Italian. But there was one there, and after the pit stops, it just seems like Jonas Vana is the better out of the two. Maybe Mirko has to save a bit of fuel, underfueled a bit, to try and compromise for the fuel lost. These two allowing Renova to get closer. Florian Stadtmann, also on the back of Sean Ter, who has dropped down the order after the pit stops. P15 for the young German. Rafael, oh, what's happened? No! Jonas Vana crashes on himself, I think. Does he touch it? No, he just spins. Mirko Bortolotti nearly avoids it. Or just narrowly avoids it. But Jonas Vana down the order. Rafael Renova now next to Mirko Bortolotti. This is the battle for the championship. Rafael Renova could use the points. Mirko Bortolotti can't lose him. Let's hope that car of Mirko Bortolotti is also fine. It isn't too damaged, because that will be sad to see. But still the two are side by side coming on to the final couple of corners of the racetrack. The outside for Renova. Still the outside for Renova. Still braving it out. Still braving it out with a moment of oversteer. Into the chicane side by side. Mirko Bortolotti professionally squeezes him out and says no thank you. That position is mine, and it will stay mine for the time being. The battle at the front of the field surely heating up. Still, the two of them still within 0.2 of a second. You can't really separate them. Pace of them is so similar now. Rafael Renhofer just needed to get close to Mirko Bortolotti. Can now follow in his slipstream. Rafael Renhofer just waiting for a mistake, and he got one there from Mirko. Takes the outside. And with what I think is 2 laps to go, yes indeed, Rafael Renhofer takes the lead of this race. Mirko Bortolotti still not done with it. Tries to cut back on Renhofer and manages to pull it off. If he manages to get this lead back with his switchback, well, Rafael Renhofer, that's how you do it. Switchbacks 101 with Mirko Bortolotti. Renhofer's not having much of it. Still trying to come back at the Italian down the back straight, using the slipstream that is available to him. Mirko Bortolotti, after a brilliant attack, a brilliant move from Renhofer to regain or to gain the leading position, P1, manages to pull off what is a great switchback. Bit of a gap now between Renhofer and Bortolotti. Gives us a chance to watch Maximilian Paul and Marius Zug. These two fighting for the final podium spot on what is now the last lap. And here he goes, Zug to the outside of Maximilian Paul. But can't put it off. Was a bit optimistic. In the end, he just has to take too much speed out. Maximilian Paul stays P3. Mirko Bortolotti has done everything right today. Rafael Renhofer is now 1.1 back. Tried the attack, couldn't make it. So that means that Mirko Bortolotti is going to retake some points in the championship that he also dearly needs. Mirko Bortolotti wins once again in the W12 Sprint Series. After being winless for 2 weeks in a row, Mirko Bortolotti wins again. Renhofer parks it straight after the line. Clearly not happy. And there are the donuts from Mirko Bortolotti. Dennis Richter wins in the silver for the Speed Monkeys. And Thomas Kiefer in 18th coming through. Just behind Jan Lins. Can't quite get him. All right, that's it for the feature race here. Waiting for one more driver to come through to complete it. And we can go to the results. There we go. That's it. Let's go to the results of the feature race. Here it is. Mirko Bortolotti wins and Maximilian Paul in second. What happened to Rafael Renova then? Did Rafael Renova have a penalty? It looks very likely. That means Maximilian Paul gets up to P2. Marius Zoek in P3. Ahead of Benedict Hitz in fourth. Marin Kjordanowski 5th. Jonas Warner 6th. Martin Stadtman 7th. Niels Langeveld 8th. Andrea Frazinetti 9th. And Leon Blum in P10. Jens Fiedler 11th. Dennis Richter 12th. Philippe Grant 13th. Chante 14th. Florian Stadtman 15th. Jan Lins in 16th. Thomas Kiefer 17th. Christian Ablasa in 18th. And Rafael Renova with the penalty down in P19. Ahead of Lucas Baza in P20. It's P21 for Jonnek Wonnenberg. Torsten Kroos P22. Mikael Döllinger 23rd. Even Ferrari 24th. And the drivers not finishing on the lead lap. Hendrik Steurer, Dave Jurma, Stefano Pellegrino, Hugo Sasse, Ben Buhnagel, Markus Steffel, and Hugo Rob. We'll go to the intermission screen. We'll be back with you as soon as we have server number 2. Hello everyone and welcome to the W12 Sprint Series. My name is Dan Papels and today I'm taking you through everything that the W12 Sprint Series stands for. So fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the ride together with me. First things first, the W12 Sprint Series was founded in 2021 by professional racing driver Mirko Bortolotti, who won the DTM Championship in 2024. He came up with the concept aiming to combine the fun factor of driving unknown cars and tracks with the real-life race approach. This means having the ability to adapt to new situations quickly by having limited practice time, and more importantly, to provide the exact same preparation time to each competitor. The W12 Sprint Series takes place in the off-season, most likely on Mondays, consisting of 2 racing servers on each racing day. With more than 16 different car classes and more than 50 tracks forming the official draw, the uncertainty and variability makes this series unique. Also, the racing formats themselves are different. In Server 1, in fact, the action starts off with a 30-minute practice session before heading into a single lap one-shot qualifying. After that, the field will be split in 2 halves for the following 2 heat races, with the top 5 finishers advancing directly to the main race. A final consolation race for the remaining drivers will define the remainder of the starting grid, with all drivers competing against each other for the big points in the main race with a mandatory pit stop. Once Server 1 is complete, all drivers meet up in Discord to do a live draw for the next car and track combination for the second server, which will feature a more straightforward format consisting of a practice session and the almighty single lap qualifying, followed by an 18-minute main race. The event is rounded up with a top 18 reverse grid race of the same duration. Alrighty then, back with the W12 Sprint Series. We're at the Nürburgring in the LMP3s. It's time for qualifying. Let's see what the drivers can do. They've had practice of 27 minutes. We're now into the single lap, the one-shot qualifying. Hope you've all had a good break, because it's time to go racing again. Oh, who's that off? That's Christian Ablasa who's gone off. I'm gonna leave it on exciting for qualifying. See where that leads us. Leads us to Niels Langeveld for now. Need someone to set a lap time to see on the left hand side who is selected for you guys at home. Then I'll tell you. Niels Langeveld obviously driving for Gazex, as he has been since he joined the series. But no Gazex livery for Niels Langeveld. On to the, what I think is actually a very beautiful livery from Dennis Richter. The Rebellion livery, back when Rebellion drove in the LMP1 category, as it was called back then in WEC. Big fan of those cars. The liveries too. Here is Jonas Varna. Oh, Florian Stadtmann with a spin on his fast lap. That's his fast lap over. He's going to use these as a practice lap. Thought for a second with the one on that car that it was Mirko Bortolotti, but luckily for him it isn't. Mirko Bortolotti is about... Nah, he's still on the warm-up lap. He still hasn't come through yet. That's a spin for Benedict Hitz. He was optimistic last week, but sadly qualifying ends early for him. Here is Hugo Zasse. Still no one who set a lap time. Drivers are close to it. I think closest to setting a lap time is Thorsten Gross or Marin Jordanovski. Yeah, the two are very close to each other. Jonas Varna close to checkered flag now as well. There goes Hugo Zasse. Well, he's not setting a lap time because he's gotten an off track. And that's his qualifying end. A lap time from Marin Jordanovski, 150.8, 150.2 from Jonas Varna. Florian Stadtmann, the driver we're looking at, he's now starting his lap. He's left it right to the end. Andrea Frasinetti's come across the line. He's put himself into P3. Philippe Hugrin has put himself in P12. This is Thomas Kiefer coming across the line. Reckon Thomas Kiefer put himself. P9 is the answer. This is Lucas Baza who's doing the last corner in reverse. Thorsten Gross in the 777 machine. Into the pit lane goes Benedict Hitz after his spin in turn 1. The 777 machine of Thorsten Gross. Now going down or up through the Schumacher S coming out of the Dunlop Kere. Mirko Bortolotti also close to setting a lap time. Thorsten Gross has already done a lap, so he's not setting any timed laps anymore. Stefano Pellegrino will be crossing the line soon as well. He'll be next across the line. Then it's Mirko Bortolotti. Then it's Martin Stammmann. Then Florian Stadtmann. Across the line for Stefano Pellegrino. Keep an eye on the left-hand side. The timing tower across the line for the Italian. And he goes only up into P17. Next, Mirko Bortolotti. What can he do? Can he go to pole? No, he can't. 6. That's quite disappointing for the championship leader. Rafael Renhofer in second. With once again a chance to gain some points. Into the pits comes Leon Blum. And that's it for qualifying. Well, onto the grid then. Let's go through it. Here it is. Jonas Warner starts from pole ahead of Rafael Renhofer in second. Marius Zoek third. Andrea Frasinetti fourth. Niels Langeveld fifth. Mirko Bortolotti in sixth. Seventh, Marin Kurdanovski. 8th is Leon Blum. 2 seconds. There we go. Hendrik Steurer, P9. P10 is Jan Lins. P11, Ben Buhnagel. 12th, Martin Stadtmann. 13, Robert Heger. 14, Thomas Kiefer. Jens Fiedler 15th. Hugo Rob in 16th. Dennis Richter 17th. Florian Stadtmann in 18th. Philippe Hugrin 19th. Stefano Pellegrino 20th. Mikael Döllinger 21st. Dave Euroma 22nd. Sean Tech 23rd. Benedict Hitz 24th. Yannick Wonnenberg P25. Ivan Ferrari P26. Hugo Zasse 27th. Torsten Gross P28. 29th for Maximilian Paul. And P30 for Lucas Baza. Christian Ablasa rounding off the grid in P31. Looking to climb the order. To manual control on the cameras. These LMP3s. Sad to see them go from the European Le Mans Series grid. They make such an amazing sound. The racing usually is great in these cars. If you have a bigger grid of them especially. Alright, here we go. Gridding is complete. Waiting for the 5 red lights here at the Nürburgring. Jonas Warner from pole. Rafael Renhofer in second next to him. Lights go out. We're racing at the Nürburgring. Good start for everyone at the front of the field. Coming down at the turn 1. Rafael Renhofer challenging to the inside on Jonas Warner. And Rafael Renhofer will take the lead, a spin in the front field. Everyone drives into it. And it was Mirko Bortolotti with the spin. Mirko Bortolotti initiated all of that. And the championship leader down on the P17. Coming into today, the gap between Rafael Renhofer and Mirko Bortolotti was 16 points. And with that mistake from Mirko Bortolotti, spinning himself out, I think it was Mirko Bortolotti at least. That gap will come right down if Rafael Renhofer wins this race. Even with the points that Mirko took on Rafael Renhofer in the first server, the gap will come right down to those probably 16 points that were in between them before this evening even got underway. Battle for P2 and 3 as well. Marius Zoek ahead of Andrea Frasinetti, I wanted to say, but he's dropped back behind Frasinetti. Italian making some good inroads on Jonas Warner. Started P4, now P3. Starting P14 was Thomas Kiefer. He's now up into 7th, but starting from P27 and now into P11 is Hugo Zasse. That's a surprise to me, that is. Or that's not a surprise to me, I wanted to say. Hugo Zasse knows how to find his way through and has done so at this track. Benedict hits. Also up 15 positions, started P24, now into P9. So drivers finding their way around the incident in the first couple of corners properly. Some stuff going on in the background. I'm quickly going to leave you guys without commentary and put you on exciting. So we'll go through the field for you guys automatically, and I'll be right back. Right, we're back with commentary. I can see that some drivers have already made their pit stop. Mirko Bortolotti has done so too. And he's at the moment the driver leading the pack of the drivers who have made their pit stop. That has just changed though. Marius Zug has made his way in front of Mirko Bortolotti coming out of the pits. I think Mirko was around the P16 area when I left. He's already up to P14 and he has already made his pit stop, so looked like he was able to somewhat recover from his incident. This is the battle for the lead though. Jonas Vana, Rafael Renhofer. 2 tenths between the two. And Rafael Renhofer still at the front of the field, will hope to stay there. Niels Langeveld after Jonas Vana has gone into pit lane. Let's see where Jonas Vana comes out relative to Mirko Bortolotti. So that will give us an indication of how far Mirko is actually behind Rafael Renhofer and the lead pack. Right, so Jonas Vana is out of the pits now. There's still quite a bit behind. People can fit into that gap. Mirko Bortolotti has overtaken most of them. It's P11 now. I'm interested to see what that's going to do. This is Christian Ablasa, P23, the battle for 22nd. He has Jens Fiedler behind him. Also someone coming out of pit lane. Was that Maximilian Paul? Could well have been. Leon Blum in 5th. He's 3 tenths behind Zasse as well. Because Baza, that's the battle we're switching to right now. Behind Jan Lins. This is for P2 and 3 in the silver class. Robert Hega is in between the two of them. There's Maxi Paul. He's had an incident, it seems like. Was just not having a great time in these LMP3s. Because he's down on P24 but has gained 5 positions. Starting really far down, Maxi. Not really been able to make his way up either. Oh, that's a massive incident. Who was that? Was that Marinko Jordanovski, Jens Fiedler or Dave Jeuvelman? Or maybe Ben Buhnagel? Anyways, that was a big crash. Mirko Bortolotti, after all pit stops have been made, has made his way up to P5. Jonas Vana still right behind Rafael Renhofer. Bortolotti trying to make his way through. Narrowly avoiding almost another incident. Oh no, that's not Mirko Bortolotti, that's more that shot there. In that battle on the 007 of Kiefer. Together with Hugo Zasse. Leon Blum in between those two. And in the coke livery, it's the 15 of Vonenberg. Chanter trying to make his way on the outside. It has to do with some gravel there. bit too eager on the throttle. Thus, gravel is their destiny. Svana for P1 and P2, close to Rafael Renova, fastest lap up by Mirko Bortolotti in the last time. It's only a 10.5 though, quicker than Jonas Svana, so he's not gaining enough really to try something for the lead. He is gaining, however, on the podium, and Marius Zug, podium is still a little bit over 8 seconds away from Mirko Bortolotti. Still quite a lot. Having a look at the inside is Thomas Kiefer. Back, makes his way around the outside of him. Kiefer still the leader in the silver class. Remember, only joined 2 weeks ago. So for Kiefer, this is an amazing result already. Rafael Renova, oh, something's happened at the front. Let's have a look at what happened. This is Rafael Renova. This car looks fine to me. But where has Jonas Svana gone? Has he made another mistake? Back to the first lap though, here we go. Short cam with Mirko Bortolotti, moving all over the place, trying to find the best way around. Oh, just gets collected. Just gets collected by multiple incidents. Gets underway again, crucially. But that's how Mirko Bortolotti started this race. This is Jonas Svana. This is when he was right behind Rafael Renova. Jonas Svana just goes on track, comes back on track. Jonas Svana went off track again somewhere. This is, oh, he's gonna have a moment yet. He's gonna hit the curb wrong. Right. Now we know, back to live pictures though. We're on to the last lap with Rafael Renova. Lifting up the inside right wheel. Bortolotti is also close for 4th place on the last lap of the race. I think it's just a little bit too late for Mirko though. Too little, too late. Rafael Renova though has driven another race in which nobody but Jonas Vana could touch him. He made a mistake eventually. Rafael Renova didn't, so he wins the first race here at the Nürburgring. Andrea Frasinetti comes through in 2nd. Marius Zug in 3rd. Jonas Vana only finishing P4. Mirko Bortolotti. After the crash he had on the first lap, I think happy to have come through in P5. Well, what a race that was again. Not bad, that. I think everyone can be happy. Except maybe Mirko Bortolotti expected maybe more from it. And of course Hugo Rob. I haven't quite been able to see what's happened to him, but yeah, he doesn't look happy, that car. And locks up the brakes into turn 1. And off he goes. Back into the warm-up though. That gives us a bit of time to go through the results of the heat race. The main race. Rafael Renova first ahead of Andrea Frasinetti and Marius Zug in 3rd. Jonas Vana 4th. Mirko Bortolotti 5th. Leon Blum 6th. Yannick Wonenberg 7th. Thomas Kiefer wins in the silver class. Good job by him. Benedict Hitz in 9th and P10 for Martin Stadtmann. Then Niels Langeveld in P11, P12 for Davy Oberma. Good job by Davy Oberma as well. Oh no, that was not Davy Oberma. I'm looking on the wrong timing sheet. Here we go. It was Florian Stadtmann who finished P12. Jan Lins in P13. I'm going too quick. Robert Heger P14. Lucas Baza P15. Maximilian Paul in 16th. Dennis Richter 17th. Philipp Ugrin 18th. Ugo Zasse 19th. And Christian Ablasa in 20th. Stefano Pellegrino 21st. Marinko Jordanovski P22. P23 for Henrik Steurer. Chante P24. Davy Oberma P25. Ben Buhnagel 26th. Hugo Rob 27th. Torsten Kroos P28. 29th is Jens Fiedler. Mikael Döllinger P30 and P31. And rounding off the grid, Ivan Ferrari. Time to let our voices rest for a bit. We're back into warm-up. Alright, that's the end of the warm-up. Into the race we go. Let's look at our top 15. Philipp Kruijn first, ahead of Dennis Richter. Maximilian Paul in third. I'm excited to see what he can do from there. Can he make himself a W12 Sprint Series winner? Who knows? Lucas Baza in fourth. Robert Hega 50. Annelien sixth. Florian Stadtmann in seventh. And Niels Langeveld in P8. Martin Stadtmann in ninth. Benedict Hitz in 10th. Thomas Kiefer in 11th, Yannick Wonenberg 12th, Leon Blum in 13th, Mirko Bortolotti 14th, Jonas Warner 15th, 16th, Marius Zug, Andrea Frasinetti 17th, and Rafael Renova 18th. For the rest, it's how they finished. Philipp Kruijn will start this race from the front of the field. He will do that now, as we are awaiting the 5 red lights. They're on now.
Green.
They're out. That means we're racing at the Nürburgring for race number 2. Green flag is in the air. Good start for Dennis Richter. He's P1 by turn 1. The outside for Philipp Kruijn, trying to follow him through. Because Baza in the red and white machine has also made his way through. Oh, there's a crash in the background involving Niels Langeveld. Here's Mirko Bortolotti already up 7. Slow down here for one of the drivers. Yes, there is Maximilian Paul. Up into second place, starting third. Through the first timing beam, so there's our timing tower on the left hand side. And Dennis Richter already under pressure from Maximilian Paul, who's going to try and not hang around here. He's going to try and make it quick. In making it quick, he makes contact. Somewhat okay, that contact. Still up the inside is Richter. Richter doesn't want to let it go. He has to now because Maximilian Paul is ahead and has that position. He knows what's lingering in the background, even though he's not even there yet. It's Mirko Bortolotti already up into the top 5. He's going to be quick. Maximilian Paul with clean air now. I'm intrigued to see what he can do. Because Maxi is quick. He's not a slow driver at all. Let's see what he can do in clean air. Trying to control this race for once. Mirko Bortolotti on the back of Robert Hega. Robert Hega almost bows down for Mirko Bortolotti. Lets him through, knows that that might not even be his fight. Rafael Renova has already made his pit stop. Decided to opt for an early pit, Rafael Renova. Try and make up positions maybe in clean air now. He is first of everyone who has pitted. Here is Maximilian Paul. He's now 1 second ahead of Baza. Mirko Bortolotti is only 4/10 behind Baza. Oh boy. Maximilian Paul, I don't want to say it too early, but he is coming. He is coming. And he knows it. So I tried to make the move so quick on Baza. Mirko Bortolotti up the inside of Baza, and he almost gets gifted away. Was that a crash in the background? Was that Robert Hega? I think it was Robert Hega. The number 33, first car in shot. He's not going to drive into the pit wall, is he? He is! Oh boy! Robert Heger. Slams into the pit wall, literally, on the entry. And his race is over. Both of them now, Paul and Bortolotti, clean air DTM friends at the front of the field. These two might be used to chasing each other down in the same car. The lap time of the two is as soon as they come across the line after they've had clean air. Because it wasn't far apart last time, only 3/10 gained by Mirko Bortolotti, but as soon as you get into that slipstream, you start gaining an extra 2/10 every straight, and it'll go quickly by then. Mirko Bortolotti is now into that slipstream range of Maximilian Paul. Comes. Lap times. Yeah, well. 7/10 quicker last time round, Mirko Bortolotti, compared to Maximilian Paul. Sets a purple lap time of the race to the Italian. Might not even be a battle anymore. Just needs to arrive to the back of Maximilian Paul, and he knows it. He knows it's coming now. He's made the mistake. He's expecting him, and he's there. Mirko Bortolotti is going to challenge Maximilian Paul at the inside. Maximilian Paul is not going to fight it too much. He knows that the battle isn't between him and Mirko Bortolotti anymore now. He knows he can't keep him at bay. That's not to say he didn't try, but he's just a bit too quick in the Ligier LMP3 on this track for now. Maximilian Paul will try and drive behind him alone. Try and get the toe to defend from Vanna. Jonas Vanna might become a threat to Maximilian Paul at some point too. Got a little bit more than 10 minutes remaining in this race. Rafael Renhofer has just set the fastest lap of the race, 49.9. That was a little bit less than a tenth quicker than Mirko Bortolotti, so not enough. It'll really depend on the pit stop. Yeah, you can see already, gap has opened up to 1.6. Oh, 6/10 quicker that time round, or Rafael Renhofer compared to Mirko Bortolotti. That might be enough. This is what Rafael Renhofer needs. Needs a clean track, only has Philippe Hugrin in front of him. That should be easy work. Philippe Hugrin is silver driver. Rafael Renhofer almost 10k in I rating. Maximilian Paul still holding on strong for the podium. Here is that battle. He has Andrea Frasinetti behind him. Oh, they're so close to him. They're so close that they've made contact. That's all to their own mistake. Nothing to Maximilian Paul, but boy, oh boy, the speed difference between them was so big that Jonas Varner just drove into the back of Andrea Frasinetti. Goes Maximilian Paul. Rafael Rennhoff has passed already. Rafael Rennhoff might have the lead here, ladies and gentlemen. He has it of the drivers who've made their pit stop so far. Philippe Ugrando slowing down the pace of Rafael Rennhoff. Rafael Rennhoff to the inside of Ugrin. Carries it around the outside. Smart usage of the track limits, and he gets past, had a strike left, and takes that one right there to maximize lap time. He has to watch out now though, and he doesn't get another strike, because that could be catastrophic for Rennhoff. I have a feeling he might have got this, you know. Rennhoff to Paul is 5 seconds. The gap was around 3 seconds when Paul pitted to Mirko Bortolotti. So by those calculations, he should be around 2 seconds ahead of Mirko. We're going to see if that's the case. Mirko's into the pits now. Now I have a feeling a lot more might be following him. Yes, Niels Langeveld and Jonas Varner followed him into. Philippe Ugrin is going to follow him in as well, I feel. Here comes Rennhoff onto the start-finish straight. Mirko Bortolotti is pit out now. When does he exit pit lane? That's now. Mirko Bortolotti, Rafael Rennhoff. The battle for the lead. I thought Rennhoff might have gotten this, but Philippe Ugrin, Mirko Bortolotti's teammate, might have just done enough. He's right up behind him though. The championship contenders once again close to each other. Rennhoff won in the first race. He's going to try and tactically win this one too. And he's got 6 minutes left to do it, with a gap of 0.6 of a second. And maybe the speed over Mirko Bortolotti. Rafael Rennhoff might have done this. This is the battle we'll be looking at. Jan Lins in P6 overall, doing a great job in the overalls and in the silvers. And P6 for a silver overall is definitely not bad, but definitely not out of the ordinary here. And that slipstream doing its work now for Rennhoff. Perhaps somewhat staying the same though. Mirko Bortolotti almost matching the 49.8 from Rafael Rennhoff, a lap time that he's doing now for the 3rd time in a row. Bortolotti is so good when it comes to these situations. Just managed to pull an extra tenth or two out of the bag. He's not pressurized once it comes to a championship. The thing that Mirko Bortolotti thinks about is winning that race. That's how he drives as well, also in the heats in server 1. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for Mirko Bortolotti what position he's in. He wants to get that position. If you're for position, he's coming for you. That's one thing that's for sure. Mirko Bortolotti and Rafael Renova. 5/10 of a second the gap now. Now the last corner, gap grows a bit. See lap times of the two gentlemen. 49.6 from Mirko Bortolotti. 49.5 from Rafael Renova. Two absolute best laps of the race. When they need it, I told you Mirko Bortolotti pulls an extra tenth or two out of the bag. That's 4/10 quicker than his previous fastest lap of the race. But Renova even quicker than that. We have 1 lap left after this one. 1.5 laps left. The gap is 7/10 between the two. Absolute best lap of the race. You can also see it on the steering wheel. Rafael Renova will be getting that as well, that information. To the back straight again, revving these cars out. That last corner, Renova gains a bit. White flag is out. White flag is in the air. 49.58, 49.65. Mirko Bortolotti with the fastest lap of the race now. That 49.53 was not a legal lap, was with an off track. Probably at the chicane, I assume. But he can't get closer. Mirko Bortolotti is keeping him at the same distance. Even opening up the gap somehow with the slipstream for Renova. He's been mighty so far. Different lines from Renova and Bortolotti. The focus is a little more on the exits of Dunlop Kere. Don't know if that was his ideal line, but it doesn't really matter. 6/10 of a second, Rafael Renova is not going to do anything. Looks like it's going to finish this way. Jan Lins in P7, still in P1 of the silvers. In front of Hugo Zasse. It's overall position, so doesn't have to give that up, obviously. But it has been a master drive by Mirko Bortolotti. He has shown why he's the leader in the championship and will go into the last round leader of the championship too. Mirko Bortolotti wins the second race at the Nürburgring ahead of Rafael Renova. And oh boy, will this be a spectacle next week on the last week of the W12 Sprint Series. Jan Lins will pass. Will he? Will he? Will he? No, he won't. Yes, he will. 13 thousandths of a second ahead of Hugo Zasse. Jan Lins gets it. Jordanovski in 9th and Vonenberg in 10th. But boy, was that close for the silver winner in that race. 13 thousandths of a second between Jan Lins and Hugo Zasse. And Thomas Kiva after his win. Will come through in 22nd. Well then, that was the race. Let's drag our very eager silver winner into the booth. Jan, welcome into the commentary booth. First of all, congratulations. How are you feeling? Yes, definitely. 13 thousandths of a second, Jan, it was with Hugo Zasse at the line. You say not so often, but we've seen you regularly on the verge of at least the top 10, Jan. Do you think that tonight just everything clicked? Now, Jan, I'm looking at the championship. Is that something that you are still going for, going into the last round now? Great to hear you had fun, Jan. Congratulations on your victory. Go and enjoy it. Bye-bye. That was Jan. Now let's drag in our second silver winner of the evening. He won the main race. Thomas, welcome in. Hi, Thomas. First of all, great to have you with the W12 Sprint Series. You joined the series 2 weeks ago. Now, you started that off with a dream debut in the MX5s by winning that race. Another win here this evening in the LMP3s. Tell us all about it. Since you're quite new to the series, Thomas, I do have to ask you, what's your opinion on the format? Exactly. Now, you came into the championship 2 weeks ago. What was your goal when you joined? All right, Thomas. Congratulations on your victory, and go and enjoy it. Hope to see you next week again. You too, Thomas. That was Thomas Kiefer winning the first race in the Silvers here. That was all. The Silvers seem eager for an interview, but the overall winners, not quite so. We had Mirko Bortolotti in last week, but not sadly any one of the overall winners here this evening. And, well, we'll see. Maybe next week there'll be more of them once we conclude the championship of the W12 Sprint Series season number 7. Until then, it's been me, Dan Paples. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week, hopefully, for another great round of the W12 Sprint Series. Goodbye!